Howdy. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the relationship between ADHD, attention deficit disorder, and its relationship to mental illness. One thing I noticed is that I personally have had ADHD most of my life, which is why I've never got around to making this video. But the thing is that I noticed when I looked up a lot of the symptoms of mental illnesses, like from depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and bipolar, they all had shared symptoms. And it occurred to me, it made me start thinking that, when you're young, you usually don't get diagnosed with mental illness. But when you turn into an adult in your adolescence, that's when you start being identified as being mentally ill. And these labels come about. And so what I did is I noticed that, again, the shared symptoms, I made some really generic, what I would call, well, they're terrible, I'm embarrassed, but they're just really quick. I made some of these, okay? That's for bipolar. You can see there's shared symptoms there. I got these out of the diagnostic, blah, 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 statisticians, whatever, for mental illness or whatever. And I just wrote them down really quick because it came to me in a flash, right? So that's bipolar. That's schizophrenia. And then you take a look at depression. You also see that there's shared symptoms. And with anxiety as well. So, and a lot of these things, they come together, anxiety and depression. And so one of the things that I noticed again was that these symptoms were shared. And it occurred to me that if you thought about people's culture, their age, their sex, gender, and all of that, how this ADD manifests itself when you turn into an adult, if you fail and to develop adult coping mechanisms, you might make yourself a little crazy. So I think it's really important to look at the pathways in the brain that are related to ADHD and these mental illnesses. And I think that you will find that a lot of people, invariably, their problems might be actually coming straight out of being ADHD. That's not to say that there's people out there that have glandular issues or a tumor growing that creates, too much hormones and that will change your behavior. I'm talking about people who've had trauma that were consistently normal, and then through adult life they ended up with these mental illnesses. So I really think if you feel like you've ever had these mental illnesses, ask yourself if you might have ADHD and see if there's a relationship, because you might find that just curing your ADHD will take care of all those other problems. I know that was a big awakening for me. And another thing is I found some mushroom information related to this. I'm going to do that in another video, but I'm going to talk about that they found that psychedelics basically work on the same pathways as this, and that ADHD and these, I think depression and anxiety they found were related. So at any rate, I just wanted to throw that idea out there and take a look at it for yourself. Again, just an idea to think about, and thanks for listening.